Hello everyone, Archmage, also known as Julian or Keld here, and welcome to our so-called lore video, where we will cover how everything started with the sons of Miyazaki and Soma Julius Cruz. Thanks for watching, and extra big thanks for anyone that supported us in any way. Special thanks to Ann1337. Prologue: The Old Guard. Soma's been a detractor for a long time. He used to stream on Twitch and then moved on to YouTube. He's had a lot of different viewers and mods during that time. And the way Soma is today isn't so different from how he was a few years ago. Back in 2019, before most of us were even in the picture, Soma and his mods, along with some other viewers, had a falling out over the way he was acting towards them. Chozo and Zalix, in particular, were in the middle of it. So what did they do that set him off? Well, Chozo simply happened to be a fan of memology. Soma was beefing with memology at the time, for whatever reason. I can only guess it had to do with stolen content or something. A random viewer accused Chozo of misusing his mod status, and that was enough of an excuse for Soma to demod Chozo. Chozo later DM'd Soma about this. Here is what was said. The rat isn't very good at concealing his intentions, is he? Next we have Zalix, another one of his mods, who was banned for simply daring to play Skyrim instead of attending Soma's stream. This is the message he sent Zalix before banning him. If you want more information about this, there's a whole log of what happened on our Discord server. The Discord link can be found on our community tab. Zalix himself is one of our members, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind answering any questions you might have for him. Chapter 1. Fans. Fast forward to 2021. The sons of Miyazaki don't exist just yet. And that's because we were fans of Soma at the time. Most of us were still new to his content, so the repetitive jokes and the let's tolerate reruns weren't really a problem at the time. We were all just looking for a chill place to meme on Phil and maybe watch some gameplay on his gaming streams. His community back then was the best part of his channel, very friendly and welcoming, and I'm glad to say that nearly everyone that was there at the time is here with us now in the Sons of Miyazaki. So, in a way, we owe Soma thanks for bringing us together. Thanks, Rat. We all joined his Discord expecting to interact with him on occasion, but he really only uses his Discord for advertising his new videos. Regardless, we still enjoyed using his Discord to talk to one another on voice or text. A couple of individuals would join the voice channel and bring the mood down for various reasons that I won't get into in this video. So we stopped using his Discord altogether and made a group DM instead. Chapter 2. Concerns. This is around the time when we started noticing some bad behavior from Soma in regards to toxicity towards viewers whenever he would encounter challenge in his gameplay, or whenever someone said something he didn't like. And believe me, it didn't take much for someone to say something he didn't like.
Why don't you shut the fuck up, Akihiko? Shut the fuck up. You know, Javier, I do gotta say that if you got nothing nice to say, don't say it, by the way. You know, last time I checked, this is my stream, I can say what the hell I want, so...
A few incidents in particular popped up. One time, a viewer asked him what he would do without Phil, and he snapped at them for it. That viewer left and never came back to his streams after that. Another time, he was having trouble finding an NPC in Dying Light, and got toxic at Retro for misunderstanding his bad attitude as a Phil parody. In World War Z, he would remake the lobby when another viewer selected his favorite character before him, and made fun of them afterwards for being stuck with the character that they got when they rejoined the lobby. Then there was the Sunbreak disaster stream. After that, we made a Discord server so that we could better discuss what was going on with Soma. Eventually, I made contact with Soma and DM'd him with our concerns. Here's the short version of how that went. I shared this with the others, and we all thought his responses were very dismissive. Responses like, "I can't talk on voice because I have to save my voice for the stream," or "doesn't sound like a big deal," or how about, "It wasn't a viewer, so why would you care?" These responses aren't very assuring. Chapter 3: Hope. All of this was enough for Retro, aka Berserker, to start hating Soma outright, but the rest of us were still willing to give Soma a chance. Soma would have his dents believe that I am an unreasonable person that started hating him for no reason. But let me show you something. This is a bit of I guess you could say, argument between me and Retro. I was actually arguing on Soma's behalf here, and my point was that people do have the capacity to change. Retro disagreed and wanted to attack Soma right away. Sure, Soma's responses were dismissive, and I wouldn't exactly have bet money on him changing for the better or anything, but Soma was aware of our concerns, and maybe, just maybe, he would take his viewers' feelings into consideration and make an effort to improve. Soma's narrative is that I am an unreasonable person and a dumb troll that got angry at him over nothing. And yet, here I am, essentially defending him, after giving him a fair heads up about the growing discontent in his own community. Soma's streams didn't really have any toxicity for a few weeks after my DMs with him, so we thought and hoped that this was a positive sign. We were wrong. The bad behavior returned and reared its ugly head every once in a while, and we were slowly and steadily losing faith in Soma's ability to improve. A few more members joined us during this time, just a small number of people we reached out to and wanted to talk to on a regular basis. It was right around then that Retro talked about making a channel to show off Soma's antics. We settled on the name Sons of Miyazaki because Soma hates Hidetaka Miyazaki, the director of the FromSoft games, as much as Phil hates Hideo Kojima, the director of the Metal Gear games. From here, you can see the sort of stuff that we've been witnessing by checking out our videos. But even though we started detracting him, there was still some hope for improvement. For me, that hope ended when he pulled his World War Z lobby remaking BS again in Back 4 Blood. I had specifically told him about that in DMs when he did it back in World War Z, and the fact that he is here doing it again is the same as spitting in my face. Chapter 4: Departure. When he decided to stream Monster Hunter Sunbreak again, I decided to troll him by joining his hunts and clearing the mission very quickly, before sending out custom in-game messages calling Soma out for getting carried at the end of the mission. Once he found out it was me, though, that was it. I was public enemy number 1. He believed I was the one making the videos all along, when the vast majority of the videos were made by Retro, aka Berserker, and only a couple were made by PhD, aka Paladin. I had no plans to create videos alongside them at the time. He fed his dense lies, claiming I was only upset at him because he didn't like Elden Ring, when I didn't even own the game at the time. June 11, 2023. Well after I trolled him on Monster Hunter and left his channel. A few weeks ago, before the Monster Hunter trolling, he went on a 1-hour rant about how FromSoft is trash, the director is garbage, the community is toxic, all the fans are morons, their games suck, blah 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 blah. I sat through and listened to all of that for nearly an hour before simply saying, "Hey man, you've been bashing the game for an hour straight now." I didn't say anything earlier to avoid causing drama in the stream chat. According to him, and what he told his dents, this singular message I sent after having been patient for an hour is me blowing up. And it's the whole reason I hate him all of a sudden. And all the dent heads believe this. We decided to get in contact with any viewer we had previous contact with at all, so we could let them know what kind of person Soma Julius Cruz was. The server quickly grew from 10 users to more than 20. We also attempted to get into contact with some other detractor content creators out there, but no one wanted to bite because they didn't want to get involved with our drama. Interesting, if you ask me, considering their content is a drama, but I guess Phil is just low-hanging fruit. Chapter 5. Strikes. And then, the strikes happened. Looks like Soma couldn't handle having the terrifying threat of a channel with 30 subs making detractor videos on him the same way he's been doing to Phil for years. Superhound is a scumbag for striking Soma, but it's okay when Soma does it. Rules for thee, but not for me. We didn't really know who to turn to since other detractors had already told us that they weren't interested. We had no one in our corner, so we were just hoping that YouTube would accept our counter notices, remove the strikes, and reinstate our channel. The detractors not wanting to call out Soma is exactly the reason why the rat was able to thrive in that community for so long while insulting viewers, acting like Phil, and even stealing other detractors' content, which he still does to this day. It sucks when a Fred Fucks comes along, but they need to be called out for what they are. It's better to have people mock the community for occasional infighting than it is to be exposed for being hypocrites that harbor an individual no better than the pigroach DSP himself. In an attempt to get some kind of exposure on the false strikes, I start a Reddit thread. Big ups to anyone that upvoted and commented on there. It really did help us out a lot. Based on the comments there, Soma's lack of, let's say, character was no big secret for a lot of people. Chapter 6. Intervention. And 1337 was made aware of that Reddit thread and reached out to us. Finally, a detractor content creator that actually cares. Somehow, N1337 and his friends were able to figure out that Retro was a key figure in all of this from this simple post. Not sure how they figured that out, since I was the one that posted the thread, and Retro's main account wasn't shown on his Berserker account on YouTube at the time. They certainly know what they're doing. So, N1337 gets on our Discord server, talks to us for a while, and we let him know everything. And then gets in touch with Soma explains the situation to him and asks for a simple screen share to prove his innocence. A screen share with a web page refresh would have been proof that Soma was innocent. Something anyone would be more than willing to do, as soon as possible in fact, in order to clear their name. Something that any detractor would be willing to do, and the same that was expected of the pig roach himself. Something that only takes a couple of minutes to do. Soma's attempt to evade this request was mediocre at best, and you can check out Anne's past livestream here, or check out our abridged and edited version here. Links will be in the video's description. Chapter 7, Downfall. It's painfully clear that he is guilty, but he refused to ever admit it, and has never even addressed the situation in his own Discord. Anyone that's mentioned this in his comments, streams, or Discord gets shadow banned, with the exception of his longtime dents. Those same dents were then shoved away into the shitpost channel on his Discord, where they can huff copium and scream into the empty void. Just like Phil's dent heads, they will keep defending their rodent overlord, despite the strikes, and despite all of the other stuff that he's done. Some of them have outright embarrassed themselves in their efforts to defend him. But Soma doesn't care about them at all. Soma doesn't care enough to talk to his fans on his Discord. He doesn't care enough to get new material. He doesn't care enough to explain himself to his own viewers. He doesn't even care enough to properly pronounce the names of his few regulars. He's got a massive ego that gets bruised easily. He's a hypocrite that does the same things that he shits on Phil for. These dents and their blind fanaticism are a cautionary tale. Anyone can develop that pignosis or ratnosis. So that's our story. We tried to talk with him numerous times, but he just kept ignoring us. Didn't ignore us enough not to strike us, though. Stale content, toxicity, and hypocrisy. The refusal to properly acknowledge the concerns of your own fans. The inability to self-reflect and admit fault. The hyperfixation on views and analytics. This is how you don't run a channel. We owe a huge debt to Ann1337 for helping us out. Things may have turned out very differently without him. Since then, we've gone from 30 subs to over 300. We're grateful to anyone that supported us with likes, comments, subs, shoutouts, and anything else. Thanks for watching. Stay fair and take care.
Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. Oh!